When Jeep announced that it was going to be putting a V8 engine in the Wrangler, we knew this was something that would not last forever. Fuel economy regulations and emission regulations are getting way more stringent, meaning that big cars with V8 engines like this simply weren't going to last forever. That is why Jeep has decided to send off the V8 Wrangler with a final edition for the 2024 model year. After this, you will not be able to buy a Wrangler with a V8 engine. Psych! Now your eardrums might be wondering why I just turned the camera around and screamed into it, but here's the deal. The 2024 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392 Final Edition will not be the last V8 Wrangler. Jeep determined that demand was actually so strong for this vehicle that they are going to be doing it again for the 2025 model year. Now, Jeep has announced that there will be another final edition for 2025, which somewhat sullies the exclusivity of this 2024 model year. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Although one or two features on this 2024 model are going to remain exclusive for 2024 only and won't carry over into 2025. And I have not got explicit confirmation from Jeep that there will be a regular Rubicon 392 that is not the final edition for 2025. Right now, we only know that there will be a final edition. Now, let's talk about what you get with the 392 Rubicon and what you get with the final edition. So the final edition is going to get this triple loop grill guard, which actually hides a built-in worn winch. It's got an 8,000-pound capacity. Now, I just drove a Bronco Everglades, which has a 10,000-pound worn winch, but 8,000 pounds, still really good. And the other thing that this does that the Bronco does not is you can see the winch is actually positioned behind the bumper, integrated into it, meaning that you can still have your front camera and the winch doesn't actually block it. The Bronco, because of where its winch is placed, is not able to have a front-facing camera, which is really nice. We've got the updated 7-slot grille that came as part of the 2024 Wrangler. You're going to get that on all of the different Wrangler models. The Rubicon 392 is going to get a special color. It's kind of this goldy bronze look, which you'll also be able to see on the wheels and various accents as well. The 392, every single one, including the final edition, is going to come with this 35-inch extreme tire package. We've got BF Goodrich all-terrain tires, not mud terrain tires, on this Rubicon 392 final edition, which is kind of an interesting choice. But you do get half an inch more of ground clearance than you're going to get on other Wrangler Rubicon models, including the regular 392. The final edition is going to get you a half-inch lift, meaning that you get 11.6 inches of ground clearance total. You also get a little bit more water fording, 34.5 inches, because you have this kind of hydro dam suction system here with the hood scoop underneath the hood that is going to funnel water away. You might think that that's an air scoop, but it's actually for water to kind of funnel the water away from the engine, helping you ford a little bit deeper water than you would be in other Wrangler models, which is really cool here. Now, in addition to all of that, we also have some badges right here letting us know that we have the final edition. I noted that you are going to get more of this bronze accents. We've got the Rubicon on the hood, very typical Jeep. We've got 392 with a little bit of a bulged hood here, letting us know that we've got the V8 engine. The Jeep badge also has some bronze accents as well. And then here at the back, we have our full-size spare. We've also got our quad exhaust. Wait until you hear that a little bit later. It is a really good sound. And we also have our heavy-duty swing gate here. You know, it's a Jeep performance part. Otherwise, a normal swing gate just wouldn't be able to hold this massive, massive tire. And you can get a lot of different colors on the final edition. I like that they didn't just lock it to like one or two different colors. You can actually get this in Tuscadero Pink, which is one of the most outrageous ways to do a Wrangler in any capacity, but I do really like this color, which is called Earl. It's kind of like a bluish chalky gray. It does look really great with the bronze accents. Now, I would usually jump into the interior, but I want to focus on what's here in the back. We've got the swing gate here. We've got a special plaque denoting that this is a Rubicon 392 final edition. So we have like the wheelbase, the total length. We've got details about the engine and where it's built, which is really cool. We also have an air pressure inflator, which is really cool. So you can just kind of set the pressure here. You install a little hose and then just push the start stop button. It is really cool so that you can inflate an air mattress or anything else while you're camping. You also get this really nice kind of tailgate table, another really good option while you're out off-roading and camping. So this is really cool as well. We've got the little Willys Jeep just full of Easter eggs around here. And we are also going to get an 83-piece toolkit as part of the Wrangler Rubicon Final Edition. Now, the toolkit is not going to be available for the 2025 model year. So really, the only things you're losing out on by waiting until next year on the Final Edition is that 3-piece roll hoop at the front and a toolkit here at the back. But if I'm being honest, I think I'd rather have the actual last V8 Wrangler than have a roll hoop and a toolkit. But if you're one of those big Jeep fans in the comments, let me know. Would you rather wait for the 2025 model year, or would you rather get those two items? Now, as we move on to the interior, I think this might actually be the biggest reason why I would want a final edition compared to a regular Wrangler Rubicon 392, because the Rubicon 392 is only available with black and red seats. And in my opinion, that really limits what you're able to do with the exterior colors, because if you get like a blue and then it's black and red in here, not exactly great. Now you get these black Napa leather seats that are heated. You also get power seats, which were a new addition for the 2024 model year. And I'm really liking this gold accenting that you get here on the stitching and on the Rubicon 392 logos. I think this is just a much more tasteful look than black and bright red, in my personal opinion. Now you also get more of that gold stitching here on the steering wheel. You get a slightly different steering wheel than you're going to get in other Wrangler models. It's a little more chiseled and a little less circular. We get the same classic Jeep gauges. You can see it does a little Willys Jeep driving across as you start it up. Little bit of a digital gauge cluster there in the middle, giving us tons of performance information that we could possibly want. All Wrangler models for 2024 are going to get the 12.3-inch touchscreen. So much better than the old 8.3-inch unit. It looks cleaner. It's got wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Pretty much everything else down here stays the same. We still have lots of big rubberized knobs for tuning, volume, stereo, all of that. I mentioned heated seats, heated steering wheel as well. This is going to be your fun button right here. You can make the exhaust loud or quiet. Really big difference between that being on and off. You've got your traction control off button as well. Front and rear lockers down here. You also have your 4-wheel drive controls. You get a little plaque, a little medallion here on the top of the shifter letting you know that you have a 392 final edition, so that is just a little bit more special than what you're going to get on a regular 392. And then this is an optional extra, but we do have the Sky One Touch roof. It's about a $4,000 option. Instead of having to get out of the vehicle and basically disassemble the roof, you push one button and then you're going to watch as it kind of accordions up and folds out. You can see it kind of bunches up there at the back, giving you not the most open top experience, because obviously these side rails are rather big compared to a normal Wrangler where you can kind of take more of it off. But the added convenience of that is honestly worth $4,000 to me, especially if I'm already spending the amount of money that I'm spending on a 392. Because when it starts raining, oh no, it's raining, I'm getting wet, you just push this button, and as long as you're not going too fast, I forget the speed that it works up to. Like, honestly, you can do this at like 45 miles an hour. I've definitely done that. I think it stops working at about 50 or 60 miles an hour. You can just put the roof right back on. No hassle. You don't have to get out of the vehicle and latch the roof altogether. That is a huge convenience. All right, so let's get behind the wheel of the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392 for the final, maybe, time. You know, Jeep keeps saying, we're done, we're not going to keep putting the V8 in the Wrangler, you know, we have to move on to hybrids and electric cars, but yet, here we are, the final edition, still here. It's going to be here for one more model year. Maybe they'll do another model year after that, who knows? It really was fun while it lasted. What a concept, sticking the engine that they've been putting in the Challenger and the Charger into a Wrangler. It's just so hilarious. 6.4 liter Hemi V8, 470 horsepower, and the same amount of torque. More than they've ever put in a Wrangler before. Not even close. I mean, think about it. The V6 in a Wrangler produces what, 285 horsepower. So you're getting 470 here in the Rubicon 392. It's just such a silly amount of horsepower, and it just makes such a silly amount of noise as well. Now, the way that this car puts down its power is rather interesting. We don't have launch control or anything of that nature, but Jeep does say that this vehicle should hit 60 miles an hour in just 4.5 seconds. So honestly, I kind of want to test that. So I've got my data recording equipment set up. There's no launch control, so we're just going to floor it and see what happens. It twists, and there we go. Whoa! Okay. So that was 0 to 60 in 4.95, so sub 5 right off the bat. I think I might have started moving a little bit because, again, no launch control. You could just feel the whole chassis twist because, I mean, they've made some structural improvements, but clearly not enough for the Wrangler to be having 470 horsepower. Because this still handles like a Wrangler. We've got recirculating ball steering, which gives you zero accuracy when you go to take it around a corner. This thing was not made for handling. It's just a Wrangler that happens to have a muscle car engine. It really is the epitome of a muscle car. You just stick the biggest engine in whatever product you have. Let's see if we can do one more launch closer to that 4.5 second range. Ready? Come on. Oh, it definitely gets off the line quick. That was 4.65. All right, that was definitely closer to the 4.5 second time. Whoo! No Wrangler has ever launched like this. That is just so hilarious. And it's thanks to this 8-speed automatic, which it does shift really well. I've got paddle shifters here on the wheel, but they're very small, the same way that they were on the Charger and the Challenger, just kind of these little nubbies near the top of the steering wheel. And honestly, I don't love shifting this car manually. You pull the paddle, and then you get the shift. You pull the paddle down, and then you get the shift. They're very lazy shifts. You can go ahead and exit that by holding the automatic paddle. I think just leaving this car up to its own devices is actually a little bit better. Just leave it in automatic mode, and when you need to make a pass, it kicks down in a relatively short amount of time, and then you are just met with that glorious, glorious V8 engine. Now, I should say, if you're like a typical Wrangler owner and you're upgrading to this, you're probably used to the Wrangler being a very loud car. This one has the Sky One Touch roof, as we've mentioned. It's definitely not any quieter than a normal soft top or even the hard top. Any Wrangler you're going to get is going to be loud. But with the 392, you have the added noise from the V8. So if you're cruising at highway speeds, you're going to be hearing that V8 rumble, that which you can actually shut off. We've got that exhaust button on and off, and you go ahead and hit the button, and when the light is off, I might as well be in a V6 Wrangler. I might as well not the 4-cylinder because it makes all sorts of weird turbo whooshy noises, but I might as well be in the V6 Wrangler right now. Like, we're cruising, we're under 2,000 RPM, and there's really no indication at this moment that I'm driving the V8 Wrangler. And even when I get on it just a little bit, you can definitely hear engine, but it loses all of that throat. It loses all of that bark. As we straighten out here, I'll give you a little bit of full throttle so you can kind of hear the difference. Full throttle. Okay, it definitely still makes a noise at full throttle, but nothing compared to when you push that button. Really stark difference. And now, I am not going to go off-roading in this Wrangler. I didn't have the time this week, and you'll find better reviews of it online. The 392 has amazing off-road capability, but here's the thing. You're probably not doing the type of off-roading where having 470 horsepower is really going to make a huge difference. you're probably doing slow speed crawling. And for that, honestly, something like the 4xe with its instant torque, or even the 4-cylinder, are both really, really good. We do have still all of the off-road kit. We've got the Select Track 2-speed transfer case. We've got Dana 44 axles, you know, giving this thing some really, really beefy capability, locking diffs, disconnecting front sway bar, and we've got a 48-to-1 crawl ratio. All really, really good stuff. And on the road, it's not bad. I just drove the Bronco last week, and the Bronco definitely has better steering than this for on-the-road stuff. And I think if you're shopping in this price category, the Bronco Raptor is a little bit more comfortable than this, a little bit better on the road than this because of that steering. This is still very much a Wrangler. The ride, it's a little jittery, but I'm so high off the ground that it really doesn't disturb the experience all too much. So, as a send-off for this kind of crazy nuts Wrangler with a V8 engine, which was just such a silly concept to begin with, I think Jeep did a phenomenal job. I just think it's absolutely hilarious that the final edition is going on for one more year, meaning it's really not so final. Now, if you're in the market for a Wrangler Rubicon 392, you better be a pretty big Jeep fan, because this is the most expensive Wrangler ever made. It starts at $99,995. That does not include an $1,895 destination fee, which there's no way to avoid, meaning that this Jeep costs over $100,000. I never thought I'd reach a point in my life where a Wrangler would cost over $100,000, but here we are. Is it special enough to warrant that amount of money? I kind of think it does. I don't know that I need the final edition. I think pretty much everything that you get on the regular Wrangler 392 is good enough, so you might as well save a little bit of money and just get that if you don't need all of the little bits that you get on extra as part of the final edition. But you're basically getting two cars in one. You're getting the fun of a Dodge Charger and a Dodge Challenger, which we can't buy anymore. The V8s on those are completely gone. They're only going to do an EV and an inline six. And then you get all the off-road capability of a Wrangler as well. And if you were to buy a Wrangler Rubicon and a V8, you know, Hellcat or a Scat Pack or whatever, you'd probably be close to about $100,000 between those two cars. Now, here's the one rub that I have with this particular car. For 2024, they're building 3,700 units of this final edition globally. However, they've extended that into 2025. I don't know if they're going to do another 3,700 units, but it definitely sullies if you were one of the people who ordered this early thinking that there would only be 3,700 of these, and now they're going to be making more for the 2025 model year. As I mentioned, there's a few things that you only get for 2024. You only get this triple bar roll hoop on the 2024 model, and you're only going to get the 83-piece toolkit if you got it for 2023. But honestly, just those two things, it's a little bit disappointing still that Jeep decided to extend this for another model year. Great if you weren't able to get one of the 3,700. Bad if you did buy one and were hoping that it was going to be a little bit more of a collector's item. But let me know in the comments, will you miss the V8 Wrangler when it was gone, or would you still take the Bronco Raptor with its twin turbocharged V6 engine? As always, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to be alerted of our latest videos, and I'll see you next time.